Okay. What is going on? Hi, I'm Blank Gates, and welcome to the space. Man, I'm just like, this is day two, right? Yesterday was a tough day. How many brain cycles did we do? I don't even know where I am right now. What am I talking about? Brain cycles. Let's go back into the hook for just a second. So, all right. So when I tell you about this performance booster, remember when I was talking about this idea, like there's going to be some deeper educational experience, perhaps unlock this material somehow, pay model referrals, etc. So at this point, everybody realizes that actually this the performance booster. What I'm building right now is it's not actually the web application. It's the lead magnet. Thank you, Pasquale, for teaching me about lead magnets. And so, like, it's like a piece. So the point is what? You want to come to the. Jeez. All right, let's do it. Okay. So I got a blackboard. Okay. All right, wait. Is it going to be the right direction? Oh, good. Now, I would actually prefer if I could just sit this somewhere, but I don't actually have anything I can sit it on for now. So, all right, so we're talking about this concept of a lead magnet. And 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 the reason is because we have to start to create a funnel. Now, obviously, if you've been on my LinkedIn page lately, then you can see that in the space between ideas LinkedIn group, I got like, you know, what? It's like 8 people, and it's fine. Historic. We all have to start from the beginning, right? And so let's talk about this concept about a sales funnel, or like this idea of like there's going to be a bunch of people who are at various stages of their user experience in life, and I'm trying to provide some kind of solution for some element of their experience in life. Now, all right, so check it out. I got a blackboard. Go. All right, so let's talk about this idea of a funnel. Now, let's say that we need to talk about certain stages of this user journey. So let's say that we have page views, and the page that I'm talking about is this thing that I'm building right now. So this is like the lead magnet, or what's known as a landing page. All right, so it means that what I want to do is I want to create some kind of marketing campaign which is going to drive traffic to create views. All right, so I want to so we have okay, so we have pay to play, and then we also have organic. All right, so now organic, we're talking about branding. Like, who are you and what are you all about? So obviously, you can see that over the last week and a half, I've been expressing like, well, who am I? What am I all about? Like, what's going on in the internal world of Blank Gates? Because this is all branding. Now, you might be looking at me like, what do you mean branding? Like, look, you're wearing a yellow DHL shirt. Isn't that some kind of branding? Yeah, obviously, yes. So, did I ever work for DHL in my life? No. Actually, I bought this shirt in a secondhand store down the street here in Lagadeki. Now, so why? So why are you wearing this shirt? Aren't you aware that this is going to create some kind of issue with some people? Yeah, sure, it'll trigger some people. But the thing is that the whole point of my what I'm trying to express right now is that you can get some guy. I mean, I did work for FedEx. I was a package handler. So in between semesters, so most people they finish their law degree in Shanghai in 4 years. It took me 5 years, and between two semesters, between the semester when I was supposed to graduate and the second semester the next year, because I had one class left, I went back to Canada and I was tossing boxes in at the airport, YCC, as a package handler. I got my tug training. And so I was working that like 3 or 4 hours a day. I was going to Mount Royal College. So I went to Mount Royal College before I was in China. And then I went to Mount Royal University during like one semester because it was kind of hard to, to deal with some of those issues. And the whole thing I'm trying to tell people is that AI tools is opening up a market to people that in the past have experienced failures for a number of reasons. And suddenly, a guy that's like throwing boxes at the airport is going to have access to tools. And suddenly you realize that, oh, the reason he's throwing boxes around is because there's something wrong with his personality, or there are some skills that he's missing, or there's some kind of knowledge base that he doesn't have access to. And then suddenly, if you give him access to those tools without friction, then suddenly he could change and get in front of you. So, like, at this point, yeah, like I'm wearing a DHL shirt. Am I always going to be looking like this? I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, this is the point. Is my message is not to like AI companies, Fortune 500 companies, successful companies, big companies. That's not my target market. My target market is new managers, people who need some skills and some knowledge in order to understand how to combine with some principle based coaching skills and management skills. My target market is self-improvement enthusiasts. So people who they want access to tools. They're interested in these types of framing and these types of ideas. And then also more seasoned managers, executives who are looking for tools that they can provide to the people that they manage, and also who are constantly gleaning from what's available in the market. They're looking for mentors. They're looking for people who have very specific information and knowledge, and they're able to then like pull that one little idea out of all of the work, this big library of work that I'm trying to create, and but that's the only place that they can find it. So, I mean, so what I mean there is like, okay, so my message is mainly to these new managers. And then maybe in the middle, we have the self improvement enthusiasts. And then finally, we have the executives. Am I an executive coach? No. I'm trying to work with these new managers and provide them with tools. These executives, likely they already have a high level of performance because they're the ones who made it. They're the ones who have competed. They're the ones, if we go into some methodology, I'm giving you all the secret information. If we go into Tom's work and we talk about, where's my eraser? Remember I had it sitting somewhere here. So like if we talk about like levels of effort, like have you ever looked at my Space Between Ideas logo? You'll notice that it says space between ideas in the top right hand corner. And why does it say that in the top? Because this is considered, from Tom's work, this is a high level of effort and a high level of performance, of success. All right, that's me right here. Space between ideas. high level of effort, high level of success. Remember, you go back to the very first unit, levels of effort, So what do you need to do to increase your levels of effort? What do you need to do to increase your levels of success? How can you get from this little corner right here, where you're laid back and trailing, then you got to move somehow. You got to get to a more of like a less laid back, so more diligent, and then you also have to develop your knowledge and skill base so that you can become higher in successfulness and take a leading position. All right. So that's one of the units where people hopefully will be paying. Now, so you got your pay to play, and then you got your organic. Now, the thing is, your pay to play, you don't really want to do that until you find your first customer. All right. So what I need to do is I have to have like this. I have to have this user persona, the customer persona, which means what? So remember this, the student from Iran, quite intelligent, extremely intelligent, very bright. And he says, like, before you can scale, you have to do something that doesn't look like scaling whatsoever. You need to find your first user. You have to find your first customer, and you have to be able to define that customer very well, and you have to understand why that customer is using or buying your product. And then after you can define that person, then you find another one exactly like that person. And then if you can find another one exactly like that person, then suddenly you can you can put that demographic into your pay-to-play model, and you can create messages that are directed to this one person. Now, obviously, this is an iteration of that one person, but you have to be able to define that one person first. All right, so that means that we have to focus on organic, because we don't know where to shoot the gun, right? Like right now, we can't see anything, and there could be anybody in that room. Like, what if you get that person wrong, then you start pouring money into it, and you're just throwing money away. You're shooting blindly. So right now, this is why I'm making all these videos right now, is to show exactly what I'm doing, the process, all the ideas. And is this actually directly for my target market? Well, the thing is, like, there's two things going on here. So on the one hand side, I'm building a product, and the marketing of that product is actually going to be completely different than the marketing of what I'm doing right now. So what am I doing right now? I'm building the product. My target market for this is people who want to build products using AI tools. My market for this is actually people who want to enhance performance, whether by themselves or with their staff. So we're talking about two different things. All right, so let's return to the performance booster. Now, in that case, I haven't started any organic branding whatsoever with the performance booster. And obviously, I haven't started doing any pay to play. I haven't found my first customer because we still don't have an MVP. Now, the MVP that I'm trying to create is a lead magnet. All right, we're talking about page views. I need to get people to the page. Now, once they view the page, so we have two numbers. All right, let's say that we have 100 page views today, in one day. Now, from that 100 page views, then the question that we're trying to ask is, how many of these people enjoyed the user experience of the lead magnet? So they go through the website, they go through the performance booster. Sorry, obviously you can see I'm trying to hold this up. I like this better. So the question is, how many of these page views can you convert into what? It's called a trial. So the issue right now, so for example, I was using Speechify, and I didn't like the user experience. Like everybody, I mean, obviously the main poll right now, like how they're selling their product is they're telling everyone like, go ahead and, say something and then we can copy your voice and then we can make your voice read text. And I'm like, I don't know, like if I really wanted to give you permission to steal my voice, it probably wouldn't be a company that's based in St. Petersburg. But that wasn't actually my issue. The issue was that the output, which I wanted, it was extremely difficult with the user experience. And so they gave me a trial. All right. So I jump onto their page and then, okay, so then I sign up for the trial. Now, the trial, it has to be robust enough that, let's say that we have 100 page views. Now, let's say that we convert at 1%. All right, so that means we have one person who begins this trial. If that user experience of that trial is like my experience with Speechify, then you're going to get an email that says, please delete my account, which is exactly what happened. I told them to delete my account, and they did, which was fantastic. Well, in that case, then the problem is that now we don't have a subscription, which means what? So we need more page views. If this is going to be the conversion rate, obviously we want to improve this conversion rate, and we're going to figure out how to improve that conversion rate. That's going to have to do with the type of people who are actually visiting the page. And so in that way, we have to start looking at where is our pay to play and what is our organic traffic doing, so that when the people get to the page, these are already highly qualified leads. These are people who actually want to use your product. And then at this point, you have to make sure that your product, your trial experience has to be exactly what they were looking for, which means what? It means that you have to identify your user persona. You have to understand who is that one person that you're selling to. Now, so we improve our ability to do pay to play and organic. Now we're getting 1,000 page views. And also we're up to now 2% converting the page view into trials. So we got some real improvement. Now, let's say that we're running at like 20%. So 20% of the people who book a trial, who create a trial lesson. So, all right, so we got, what's 2% of 1,000? So that's what? It's going to be 100. We got 200 people. So 200 people make it to a trial, 20% of 200. So that's 40 people. Now we have 40 subscribers. Now, the question is, how many months will they subscribe? What's the average month? How many months are they going to subscribe? So now, obviously, if you just pick a random, like, let's take an average, then you're going to get some skewed numbers, because what you're going to find out is there's going to be a huge number of people who are going to be a 1 month. And then there's going to be a huge amount of people who are 3 to 8 months. 1 month, 3 to 8. And then we got like long term. So now we have 3 personas. So before we found one guy and we just focused on that one guy. And now, once we get them all the way through to actually using the product, then we can split them into 1, 3 to 8, and long term. All right, so that's the basis of the concept. Now, if we go back into oops. All right, there we go. Now, if we go back into this concept that we call, I'm not going to sit there. Look at this. Where are we? Hook. So if we go into this concept called the hook, then what I want to point out is that this concept of action. So yesterday, oh yeah, I was just telling you why I'm tired. Crazy video. Okay. So now we're talking about like how easy or difficult is it to act. What level of ability is needed? How can you make things more or less difficult? So now, if we talk about, okay, so I want to improve my level of success. How am I going to improve my level of success? Time, money, physical effort, and brain cycles. All right, so here it is, brain cycles. Now, the issue that I have right now, and obviously why this is not my target audience, like the messages, the videos I'm putting on the YouTube channel. I mean, I do have a target market that I'm trying to reach right now, which is called ChatGPT 2. ChatGPT builds MVP. So this message right now, it's for people who are building MVPs, people who'd like to start doing some design in the software area, but they're not able to because they don't have, they got this little tiny math brain. But after the MVP is finished, then I have to make a new channel. I have to make a YouTube channel for the performance booster. And then how's that going to look? So, anyways, that's the whole point. I'm like so confused suddenly. Why are we even here? All right, I gotta go for a walk. I got that French lesson coming up in a couple of hours, and I would like to get a little bit of work done here. I remember what I was gonna say. So the issue now is where am I? So I just opened up this document, right? And remember yesterday? So it's got current levels. So use Bubble.io to create the user interface. We did it. See? So we did it. It actually worked. And this is the issue. One of the issues that I have sometimes is that humans, we use command languages. And I find that sometimes if I don't write things down, then it's very challenging to be able to organize notes and ChatGPT, PGT, Python, object-oriented programming, etc. Yeah, so the thing is about this is because I changed the documentation to some extent, then so at this point that's actually done because we have to alter the way that we're looking at that. And now the question is, what are the tasks we need to do today? All right, so the endeavor is the same. You can see develop a straightforward process for enhancing performance, design for individual use or for strategic employee coaching sessions. So let's remove that. Now let's go to this week, next week. Where's this week, next week? See, these are the notes I was talking about, like typical business plan to create a website, and then here's this thing about object-oriented programming. But like we're not using this anymore because now, as you can see here, remember from yesterday, this is a LinkedIn post. Let's go into web app assistance. Oh, I asked it in there. Okay. Yeah, I probably shouldn't. I shouldn't be cross-pollinating that kind of stuff because I do have a section for marketing. And yeah, so obviously I told you, I inputted those 3 different sections of how I was describing the application. And so there's some slight disconnect now. So that's why I made that change here. But the main idea now, see here, this is the last piece of text. So what I actually need to do is I need to combine this text with the other text, but at the same time I have to follow the prompts. So what are we doing today? Now, as you can see, this week, next week, okay, now where do I put items that are actually finished? What do I do for brainstorming new ideas? Because I never really made it this far before. So let's talk about, okay, what am I going to try to do? What am I doing today? What am I doing? Well, obviously, I need to actually create the MVP using Chat GPT as what did he call himself? A virtual assistant? Assistant for software development purposes. And then, all right, but do we need to break that down into smaller parts? Because we can put that down as the task. Like in this case, let's say that there was 2 tasks. So now, obviously, with the MVP, we're just going to be doing one task. We're only allowing the customer to fill in one task. But when they pay, so when they move from trial, so trial is like one task basically. They can do it anytime they want because there's no restrictions. They start adding information and then they can email it to someone as a PDF. And so every time they do this process, they can create a PDF. So I'm hoping that people actually can be running different projects based on just going through it, the lead magnet, and then sending the PDF to somebody. But then once they get into the pay version, then they're going to be able to edit things, save things, and access things. So that's what they're paying. They're paying for the cloud storage and the ability to access their materials. At this point, I mean, obviously you can build things, but that's the main concept. So create the MVP. All right, so what am I doing? So I'm just basically using the terminal and GPT. I'm just going to call it GPT now. Prompts to turn these ideas into code. Now the effort is like enough time. Spend a whole day on it, so I would say definitely enough. Success, like we don't know. We don't know how difficult. This is the unknown. But if we talk about desired, obviously I want to get it done today. And I mean, it would be nice to not have to put in so much effort and still achieve that level of success. And so in order to do that, then I would need to follow a process. But the problem is that now I don't know the process, so I'm developing a process. See, that's the issue, is because the process, I don't know if there's going to be some kind of obstacle that is insurmountable in this process. So I'm trying really, really hard. Force field analysis. So, like I just said, so unknown obstacles. Um, what's driving me? I mean, like, Tom asked me to send him the MVP. So that's definitely a driver. Like I want to impress people. That's the reality. I'd like to be a provider. This is like one of my roles as a role. We could talk about self actualization. And what about success? What are the force field analysis? Like is is the thing good enough? Is it possible? All right, we ran out of time anyways. We gotta go.